So a lot of people have been asking me, how much is the insurance on my Tesla Model 3? I've watched a few videos on YouTube where people have gone through their insurance, but they're almost always American or just above the age of 40. And I know that there are a lot of 20-something-year-olds wondering how much would car insurance be for them. Because when you go on comparison sites, you can get some really mental numbers. My 21-year-old friend put all of his details in, and some of the numbers he was quoted were £36,000, which is absolutely ridiculous and almost the value of the car itself. Obviously, I have not spent £36,000 on car insurance for this car, so I'm going to go through what I have spent now. I keep my car insurance details in the glove box. To access your glove box in the Tesla Model 3, you need to press the glove box button, and then it opens up. Because an actual button on the glove box, that's way too easy. But anyway, here are our details. So when I'd been given a delivery date, I phoned Tesla and I asked what my registration number was, because you need your registration number in order to get insurance. They told me they wouldn't be able to give me it until a couple of days before I picked up the car, but they do give you a VIN, so you can use that temporarily until you know your registration plate. They also told me specifically to contact Direct Line. Direct Line is a UK insurance company, and they're basically the only ones at the minute that kind of understand Tesla vehicles. So if you're buying a Tesla in the UK, you're going to be using Direct Line. So I wanted to get a quote for my insurance online to avoid having to speak to another human being, but because I didn't know my registration number, I had to ring them instead. And I did film that entire phone call, but there really isn't anything of value in that recording, and it was mainly just me listening to the horrible music on hold. But eventually, I got through and I got a quote. Keep in mind that this is the standard range Model 3, not the performance Model 3 or the long range Model 3. So this is the cheapest one and the least powerful. But obviously it's still an expensive car that can do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. And because of my age, the insurance is still going to be in the thousands, even though I've had 3 years of driving experience now, maybe 4. So the insurance I got lasts for 1 year, and it covers me as a main driver and also Becky as a named secondary driver. Direct Line forced me to be on a mandatory excess of £500, which I assume every policy holder with Direct Line has. So that means if there is damage to the car, then I have to pay for the first £500 of damage myself. Also, because of my age, I was put on what's called a young person's mandatory excess, which was another £250. So now I would have to pay the first £750 worth of damage to this car, which isn't ideal, but I don't really have an option because this is the only insurance company that I can really use in the UK. I think my mandatory excess on my Citroen C1 is £450, which is a little bit more on the average side of things. And when I was on the phone to them, they also wanted to put me on a voluntary excess of £400. So at this point, I was thinking, well, I basically may as well not be insured, because if anything happens to the car, I have to pay for the first £1,150 worth of repairs out of my own pocket. And most of the things that are going to happen to the car, like scraping the front against the wall, or another vehicle maybe bumping into the back of you and causing a little dent, that's probably not going to cost £1,000 to fix. So I'm going to find myself always forking out the money rather than my insurer. So I asked them to change my voluntary excess to 0, so at least my entire mandatory excess is £750, and that's the lowest that I can possibly have it. So originally, with the £400 voluntary excess, my insurance for this car for 12 months was going to be £1,840, which is already the most expensive insurance that I've ever had. Remember, my first year of insurance on my Citroen C1 was £1,500. But then when I changed my voluntary excess to 0, my insurance for 12 months went up to £2,070.88. Remember, that's to insure me as a main driver. And sorry, I should have mentioned, this was on an annual estimated mileage of 9,000, which I understand some people watching probably do a lot more than 9,000 miles a year, but I work from home, so I'm not traveling to work every day, and I generally don't do very many long trips. If you want to know the specifics, this includes motor legal protection for £28, my excess amount for fire and theft is £500, accidental damage excess £500, windscreen replacement is £75, which is very handy for me based on what I accidentally did with a golf club at the start of this year. My girlfriend's sister's car window, big old smash right there. Obviously, our situations are different though, so even if you are the exact same age as me, your insurance could be a lot different because it's based on things like where you live, where you keep the car, what your job is as well. So I have to list down company director, which can be known to push my insurance up a little bit more. The insurance has all of the standard things. It protects against injuries, damage to the vehicle. They cover the market value of the car if it is stolen or damaged by fire or attempted theft. Medical expenses, hotel expenses, personal belongings. There's a vandalism promise, which is good because I've seen lots of scary Sentry Cam footage of people keying Teslas, but I'm hoping that that's just crazy American people rather than a thing that happens in the UK. And that's pretty much it. To summarise, my insurance for 12 months is £2,070.88, which is expensive, but I feel like it could be a lot worse because this is a powerful car and I am 24 years old. And generally, if you're purchasing a car that costs over £40,000, you should be able to afford a couple of £1,000s worth of insurance. But anyway, let me whack this back in the glove box, and I'm going to slide my way into the driver's seat because I wanted to show you a new feature that I discovered that somebody told me about on Twitter. Basically, basically you saw in the video with Becky that you can set up profiles so that when you're driving you can select your own profile, and the seat and the steering wheel adjust so that it fits perfectly for you. But what you could also do is you can set up easy entry for each profile. So you can see that it's on easy entry at the moment, but as soon as I put my seatbelt on and push the brake, oh, it's on charge, so I can't show you. That's fine. When I put it in drive, this happens automatically, but for the purposes of this video, I'll just change the mode on screen. So as soon as I put the car into drive, that's right, it puts everything back to my profile. But then as soon as I put the car back in park, unclip my seatbelt and open the door, it automatically puts it back onto easy entry. Moves my seat back, pushes the wheel far that way so that I can easily get my legs in and out of the car. Just a cool little extra feature that I had no idea I had. So thanks to that fella in the comments that told me about it. Anyway, that's my car insurance video. Just quickly, one guy asked about road tax in the comments. So I went on the government website to check if I owed any road tax, and apparently it has been paid until next year. So I don't know if that's included in the purchase price or what, but I expected road tax to be free because this is a completely electric vehicle. But when looking online, unfortunately, apparently because it's worth more than £40,000, there's an automatic road tax of about £300 a year, which I'm hoping is just a bit outdated, and there'll be some new laws and regulation, and by the time it gets to next year, they'll have gotten rid of that for electric vehicles, but potentially they won't. So that's just an extra thing to think about. Potentially a road tax would be about £300 a year. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know any other little features that you want to see me mess about with on the car. I've been playing about on this racing game. It's like a Mario Kart type thing, and you actually control it by moving your steering wheel around. It's incredible. Thanks a lot. Make sure you subscribe, at least weekly videos, and I'll see you later. That's right.